Welcome to Pod and Long. I'm your host, Ryan. It's great to have you with us. I'm here with one of my co-hosts. Once again, it's the Word of Drew.
There's a lot of layers to this onion that I won't bore you with, but just know that I have a friend who I think is a very smart individual who loves the Miami Heat, and he hates Eric Spoelstra so irrationally that he has convinced himself that Jimmy Butler doing things that Jimmy Butler has done for the last dozen years is somehow the fault of Eric Spoelstra.
It is his fault. We're also here with Mr. Mike.
I just want to take this time to announce here on the Pod and Long podcast that I am not interviewing for the Saints job, and that I decided to stay with the Pod and Long family.
Thank you for that. We signed him to a new 1 year deal, a prove it deal, +1. We get a team option. Also here with Mr. Megastar Mark.
I quit.
We're gonna try to lift your spirits. I'm doing a little light reading to start the show, and I opened to kids earmuffs. I opened to a page, literally kids, please earmuffs. I opened to a page that said something about STDs. So I really need to get started on this.
Right. Is the audiobook of that read by Gilbert Gottfried?
Ryan,
yeah, oh my God,
it should be.
Ryan, honey, it's too late for you. If you haven't just now gone to that chapter.
Also, Ryan, no. That's not the medically accepted term, STI. Please and thank you.
No, they changed it to tell the canalysis.
Oh, you all get the scratchies from coitus.
Y'all getting
the crap.
Y'all getting STIs. We are here.
By the way, this is purposefully why I only refer to it in range of my wife, who's a medical professional, as VD because it drives her crazy. Anyway.
We are here to talk about football. We are here to cheer Mark up a little bit. We're gonna try our best. But first, we need to hear about Mr. Whammy. You guys were at the Nets game last night.
Yeah, true.
We need to hear about Mr. Whammy before we start.
Drew, kick us off.
So, all right, for those who don't know, Mr. Whammy is a kindly old man, we think, who I don't think was born until Brooklyn got the Nets back from New Jersey, and I think was also born in his late 80s.
Start in his 80s?
He's
like
currently
Benjamin
still
Button.
in his late 80s.
He was actually a ball boy for the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Yeah. Right, yeah. He's currently still in his late 80s, and he lives in that space kind of where Fireman Ed lives. He's like the team's mascot, but is not an employee of the team. And his sole function in life as I assume, season ticket holder is to attempt to hex other teams as they shoot free throws.
Mm-hmm.
Can you demonstrate, Mark?
Yeah, I'll do it.
For the viewers?
Like the finger wiggle,
Yeah, there's a lot
is
of
he
this.
actually called Mr. Whammy?
Yeah, he's called Mr. Whammy. His back of his jersey says
Mr. Whammy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I like it.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. Look for Mr. Whammy on Nets games if you want to watch one.
Yeah. He tried to hex my cousin though, so it's on.
Maybe it'll work. Maybe it'll get out of there.
Mr. Whammy now has a mortal enemy.
Yeah, it did work. Oh my God, I just realized that.
It did work.
I'm sorry.
Didn't play a minute.
Mr. Whammy now has two mortal enemies,
Yeah.
Mark and Stairs.
Yeah.
Definitely t-shirts as well.
T-shirts,
Sounds
directions on where to hand these things up. You had a lot of pictures though. I will say that about Mr. Whammy.
There's a lot of people that ask him for pictures.
And he had like a specific person to like weed it out, like the naysayers and the ne'er-do-wells.
The haters, if you will.
Right. And just made sure it was like people who
he had like a vibe checker?
Yeah, it was
kinda
weird. Like she was stopping people. Like it was like, like I said, we were so close to the court.
Is that the best or worst social media internship ever?
You don't get paid for that, do you?
No.
Who pays you?
And she was the only one who was at the end of the stairs. Like there was no somebody standing guard. So she clearly was there because of Mr. Whammy.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. It's time for the A block.
Mr. Whammy talk.
In 2023, 4 friends were sentenced to watch bad football for crimes they didn't commit. These men promptly escaped, arguing over text message to the YouTube underground. Today, still growing their audience, they survive with silly voices and running gags. If you have an hour to kill, If you have nothing better to do, and if you can find them, maybe you can listen to the A Block.
I'm right. It's the A Block.
I want to
We
talk
are
about
here.
A-Block. I want to talk about Mr. Whammy some more.
Oh, okay. All right.
Mr. Whammy is pure A Block gold.
Mr. Whammy, friend of the show.
Friend of the show. He's a friend of the show. Who else is a friend of the show? Rob Ryan.
Very
Dick
specific.
Manhattan.
Is there a time slot available on the Weasel for Mr. Whammy? Mornings.
He's on right after Caleb Williams' dad.
He's all about Mr. Whammy and the Fart Man.
Mr. Whammy and the Fart Man on the Weasel.
That's your morning commute.
Drive.
It's your morning drive time.
Morning drive.
Mr. Whammy and because that's the only time Mr. Whammy can get up.
Yeah,
He's
right.
awake. Yeah, he's definitely awake. All right.
He's already,
A-Block.
he's already been up and peed 4 times by
5
4
a.m. to 7 a.m. That's his golden hours.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He already did the crossword.
Yep.
He does the crossword on the air. I don't know this one. Riveting. All right. A Block is always the coaches and the top news of the week. So we'll start
What's
with
the 6-letter word for whacking? Whammy.
we'll start with the Raiders. The Raiders have a new coach, Drew.
I wonder why Drew's hat was backwards. This makes more sense.
Drew
now.
says backwards. Is this a loss? Pete Carroll is back. Somehow Pete Carroll has returned.
I'm
Why?
Emperor Palpatine of the NFL.
Yeah. Why is Pete Carroll back? He is. I don't know if he deserves the Imperial March, but we don't like him on this show. Drew is your new coach.
I hate football.
You yield
Yeah,
to
buddy.
Drew, same.
Yeah, this. You know what this feels
Get
like?
out.
You know what this feels like? This feels exactly like the kind of nonsense that Al Davis would have done in the last years of his ownership.
Mm.
Like, oh, I remember this guy. He was good 20 years ago. He's got to still be good. Let's go get him. Like,
Art
I said this to
Shell.
Mark. I can't dismiss this move outright because there's no reason that it automatically sucks. But this does
Yeah.
not feel like the long-term solution. Or a
because
solution.
he's 73, so
And,
it
like,
can't
he
be a
also-
long-term solution.
And
if you
oh, by the
look at-
way, he can't fix this roster in the timetable in which he will still be a coach.
Right.
But if you look at his resume and you take away his Pete Carrollness, like are you going to do much better? I mean, the man went to a Super Bowl, won another one, has essentially turned around or helped turn around 2 franchises.
Should have won 2 Super Bowls.
Should have won 2 if
Should have won too.
he ran the damn ball.
Let me turn that question around. If the Niners had a job, would you want him?
We almost hired him as our defensive coordinator.
Answer the question.
I
That's
would be
different.
fine with him as DC. Yeah, well,
Not
not
as
Head
DC.
coach.
Not as DC.
well, we don't have a head coach problem.
If you had a head coach opening, would you want Pete Carroll?
He's squirming in his seat.
It's going to depend on the other candidates available.
So
Squirming in his
hypothetically,
seat.
Pete Carroll becomes the Niners head coach, gets rid of Brock Purdy for CJ Stroud because that's a logical move.
100%.
And you're cool with all that?
Mark, hurt people hurt people. Okay, I
Words hurt.
understand you're feeling something,
I'm
but
angry
hurt
today.
people hurt
Mark
people. Mark.
is angry. Mostly because he's got to watch Full House, but also because
Fuck you.
of the
Babies and
Bills.
babies
There's
and
the double whammy.
cars.
It's a
psychology.
double.
In psychology, they call that displacement.
Oh
48
my
hours of
god!
hell on this podcast network. You know what's not hell? The DeGrod pod. Okay.
Oh, there it is.
Is 99% on board. He told me over lunch. We had
You
salmon.
took Drew
It was
out to
wonderful.
lunch. You took him
Yeah,
out to
salmon.
lunch.
Yes,
No, he
right.
didn't take me out to lunch. He was in my house.
And he stole the salmon.
It was a home recruiting trip.
Yeah.
Did you send the house? Did you spend 50 recruiting points on it?
Mhm.
Did you schedule it properly? Does he have a visit?
There was a lot of talk about possums.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
I got to
okay,
see
good.
The possum door. So
Possum door?
Possum door is literally just the door to the basement. But
I
never
never knew that actually led
possum
down
Gate
to
to
the
the,
basement.
it's the gate to the Possum Kingdom.
Yeah, I never knew that was the basement door. I don't know what I would assume was down there, but not
You
the.
Behind
sit
the
on a
boathouse.
throne of
Show you Marduk's
possums.
secret.
Mhm.
Oh my god.
Bring in wood today. It was great. That's
true.
a euphemism,
Okay.
by the way.
Nice. Wow. Raiders have a new coach, Pete Carroll. Peter Carroll. The funniest
Also-
thing about go ahead.
Listen,
Sorry.
as a Raiders fan, they could have hired, St. John the Baptist as head coach. Like with the Raiders, it's always, this guy's the guy until they fire him. Like, why would I have any faith in anything that they did?
Tom Brady was really important in the search.
Sure. Because you know who's been a coach? Tom Brady.
Not like he has another job or a
You know who's-
conflict
you
of
know who's-
interest of any kind.
You know who's played for a wide variety of coaches in his career? Tom Brady, who played for 2.
That is crazy, by the way. It's odd. I always kind of thought Belichick was going to find a way to weasel out of this North Carolina gig.
He
No.
hasn't.
I
No.
guess now he's doing
I
it.
don't. I guess what he said beforehand was true, which
I
is
know.
he feels like the NFL is not the place for him anymore. Like it's passed him by.
Man, that's going to make those North Carolina games must see, though.
Listen, look at the jobs that were still available. You passing up the sure thing at North Carolina for the Raiders job or the Saints job?
Wait a year. Exactly. Wait a
Exactly.
year for a better opportunity to pop up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially if you can weirdly set up your son to be a college coach.
Right.
Well, his other son just got canned by the Pats.
Saw that too.
How old is Belichick? Is he Pete Carroll's age?
Yes,
He's actually
right.
a year
Him,
younger.
Mac Brown,
Yes.
and Pete Carroll are all around the
Similar.
same age.
Yeah.
Look, anytime you fire your mid-70s coach and you replace with another mid-70s coach, you gotta
70s
do it.
coach.
You got to do it. Ah, boy. The thing that's funny to me is remember last year when Pete Carroll randomly got fired, but they said he didn't get fired, and they said, "Oh, he's just
Been
getting
promoted
promoted
football
to an
advisor.
to an advisor role. It's more he's still going to be with the group franchise." And
And
everyone
Pete's response is, "The fuck I am."
everyone knew that was a fucking lie.
They call that the Nathaniel Hackett.
Mhm.
He got sent to the fourth row like Hackett.
One just got Hackett.
Well, he didn't want to do that, so he gone. No helping the Seahawks for the rest of his life. That makes me laugh. His press conferences are absolutely awful. So good luck with that, Drew. I watched his introductory one where he just spitting bullshit, just spewing bullshit left and
The
right.
Raiders have already had Jack Del Rio as their coach. It's, again, none of this is going to be revolutionary, including the losing.
They still don't have a quarterback, but does
They
this
don't have
mean
anything. They don't have anything. They have a tight end
No.
and a defensive
You
end
are-
and 50 other guys.
Shortly
are-
going to have a Pro Bowl quarterback.
you're
True.
shortly gonna have a
Yeah,
new
yeah,
Pro
that's
Bowl
the other-
quarterback?
Oh boy.
Russell Wilson's gonna be coming to town, I think.
Sure, why not? Add him to the list.
Why not? I'm giving.
Again,
It's fine,
Well,
I guess.
he-
Better than
proved
Aidan O'Connell.
He proved in Pittsburgh
right.
that the gas gauge is reading slightly above E. The light
Right.
is not on yet.
Yep.
Daryl Bevel is going to be your offensive coordinator.
That's a guy.
I don't even know who that is.
Who-
Guy named
It's
Bevel.
Pete Carroll's offensive coordinator
Ah,
that everyone
okay.
hated. He'll be back. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know if this is good or funny, but it may be both.
They may not be good, but at least they can't coach.
I'm so sorry for you. My coach
Whatever,
wrote a
I'm
sex.
I'm used to it now.
My coach wrote a sex book, so it's fine.
If I learned anything from Shawshank Redemption, it's that hope is a dangerous thing. So
Yeah.
I've chosen not to have it.
But you're not quitting the Raiders. Last week you said if Belichick
And somehow
comes in,
your mile of shit just keeps getting longer.
No, but I am. Am I
How
quitting?
close
the
are you
Raiders because of am I quitting the Raiders because of the Pete Carroll hire? No, but it
Okay.
didn't exactly bring me back into the fold either.
I'd like to tell you that Drew fought off Pete Carroll. I'd like to tell you that.
Oh, it's going to be an experiment.
Yeah, this ends with Drew and Pete Carroll engaged in single combat on a Mexican beach.
You are one step closer to the Ronin life.
100%.
The Cowboys aren't doing much better. They hired Brian Schottenheimer. Not
Oh,
Marty.
Jared.
He's
Jared.
dead. Marty's dead. Brian.
He waited. He waited until the day after this podcast because he knew that if he pulled this shit, he was going to get the Cedars Brand Tzatziki Dip of the Week. So now he's getting it for last week and this week.
2 weeks.
There you go. I like how, by the way,
Ryan
weeks in the dip cooler.
Schottenheimer.
he made it official on like Friday night at 11 o'clock. Like the news broke, but then he
100%.
made
You
it was
know
like he
that.
buried that.
That's the time when like presidential administrations dump like the worst stuff possible.
Yes. Right when everybody goes home for the weekend.
5 to 4:30 news dump.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It was.
Everyone forget about it. Oh,
Status
Cowboys.
quo.
And he basically was like, "Yeah, he's a coordinator, but he ain't one now."
Yeah,
Yeah.
you kind of put him down. It was just like he's been a career assistant everywhere.
That press
Jerry
conference was
has to have the
weird.
humiliation tool.
Yeah.
He cried. Jerry cried in the press conference because
Well, that's
Brian.
his thing, man.
Yeah,
his
that's
thing,
his
man.
move.
He cried on TV and he's like, "Hey, people like that. I can do
Yeah.
that."
I actually got positive things said about me.
Brian Schottenheimer said something about Marty and who had died, and said my dad died. And then Jerry like butts in. He's like, "My dad died too."
Oh God,
50 years ago, Jerry. How long ago was that?
I love my dad.
I love my dead day, Dad.
Miss him so much.
Tell your dad you love him.
Miss my dad.
I miss him so much.
I miss him so much.
Drew and I drove by the WWE headquarters.
Which is now apartments, right? It's going to be apartments.
Oh no, the new one. Sorry,
New one.
drove by.
Oh, the new one.
You are never going to get the Triple H sex funk out of the old
Oh my God.
WWE
Yeah.
place.
Yeah, somebody bought the old place.
Like
I heard. Yeah.
baby oil and sexual assault forever.
Mhm.
Oh,
Worse than
God.
Diddy's house.
It smells like
I'm a nice man. Yeah, I'm a nice man.
earmuffs, kids.
Yeah, he likes ass sex. Yeah, he likes ass sex. He likes to squeeze them, go balls deep in them. They
the
gotta
hell?
clean them before he eats them. With a shit-eating grin, he's bursting with pride as he stares into wide-open brown eyes. Yeah, he likes ass sex. Yeah, he likes ass sex.
Chris Man is a new song.
We
Sure
need to
did.
get Chris out of the house.
Yeah.
That motherfucker needs to touch some grass.
He is
I love
such
you,
a
buddy.
What do
Maybe.
you mean by that exactly? is that a euphemism?
No, literally just needs to go out and like put feet on the earth.
Oh my God, ass sex. A new song. Earmuffs.
Bonus. It's a hidden track at the end of
It's
the.
a secret track at the end
There's
of
a
the
reason
album.
why it's hidden.
Right. There's like a minute gap after track 12, and you hear this.
I think it was
Yeah.
already fair to label this show unfit for human consumption.
Yeah, it is
Here
definitely
we go.
unfit.
Yeah.
Unfit. Brian Schottenheimer's not gonna do well, right?
No.
No.
My God.
No.
So I told Drew this earlier. There's a
Yes.
really great comment I saw where they said Brian Schottenheimer, after the news broke, they're like, so right now the Cowboys with Brian Schottenheimer as their head coach are 60-1 odds to win next year's Super Bowl. So, which that means if you bet $100 on the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl, you would lose exactly $100.
Accurate.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Did you see Rex Ryan? Rex Ryan didn't get a job, but he said somewhere that the Cowboys offered him D coordinator, but it was too little money. They're too cheap.
Yeah.
Who's surprised? That's been the story with them
They're
forever.
too
Yeah.
cheap. That's their whole problem.
That's
It
why
is.
they drag out all their player negotiations. It's why they didn't sign Derrick Henry. It's
Yeah.
why, you know.
The Shadir, I
list
mean,
a
that's why the
million
Deion
things.
Sanders things made no sense because they're not going to pay $10 million to
Right.
free him from Colorado.
Right.
I saw something else. Saquon Barkley has 7 rushing touchdowns in the playoffs. That's more than the Cowboys' entire season.
Wow.
Yeah.
7 rushing touchdowns more.
Remember when the
what they had
Giants
all
decided
season.
that head coach and that GM should run it back one more year?
Yeah, that was bad too. Yeah, that was bad. That was bad. All right, the Jaguars saga. Let's get to this guy. We were talking about him last week. We're like, Mark, you said that he might double back. He had gone back to the Bucks.
So wait, Ryan,
Okay.
don't talk about him just yet.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
We'll get to it.
oh,
right.
Marcus.
All right.
I think I know
We'll
what you're
save
up to,
that.
my friend.
Stay tuned
Out
for
of
that.
your jib.
Stay tuned. The Saints still don't have a coach, and no one wants to coach there.
Nope. Would you?
Coaches are going out of their way to say they don't want to coach there, which is not a good look.
We are one step closer to Saints head coach Biff Poggi. Let's just
Yes.
put all our cards in the middle and make this happen.
They are. Ryan and I were talking about it off the air. They are $90 million over the cap,
Over the
and
cap.
I know you can restructure, and I know you can bring, but I mean that is an obscene number.
What we need to do is what we used to do in Madden 05, Drew, is we need to hire Dick LeBeau.
100%.
Hired Dick.
100%.
I don't think Dick LeBeau's alive anymore, but
You know, Dick LeBeau, high school teammate of Mr. Whammy.
Yeah, right.
Mr. Whammy. Bring in
And
Mr.
Michael Penning.
Whammy. Bring in Dick LeBeau. Bring in the guy with the headset who coached Peyton Manning, who didn't. Was
My
unplugged.
friends.
Tom
Dick
Moore.
LeBeau is
Yeah.
not dead.
Tom Moore.
No, I know
No,
he's not
he's not.
dead. Yeah,
Not dead.
Dick LeBeau's
87.
good for
Dick
him.
LeBeau's not dead.
Hooray!
Guys,
Oh.
he was still coaching in 2017.
Yes.
Damn.
Yeah, I knew it was a while. He was like 80.
We should have a banner that drops by and just says "not dead."
And Dick LeBeau is not dead.
Yep.
Okay, B block. There's no fanfare for the B block. Oh boy. The Chiefs defeated the Bills.
Did they?
The refs
Did
defeated
they?
the Bills. I don't know. The Bills defeated the Bills. Mark, we give you the floor. Begin.
Yeah. All right. So it sucks. And what really stings about this one is the last time the Bills were in the AFC Championship game was 2020, right?
Mhm.
And I can't remember if I mentioned this before, but like, had the Bills won that game at that point, the Bills knew they were going to. I knew that they were whoever. If they did win, they'd play the Rams, and I didn't think the Bills could beat the Rams that year. And that Rams team did end up beating the Chiefs anyway. So I really didn't want to have the whole 5 Super Bowl losses under my belt. That would have been rough. I felt and I feel the Bills could have beaten the Eagles or the Commanders, and that hurts. That hurts
Yeah.
because I feel like they could have beaten one of those guys had they gotten past the Chiefs. Chiefs have their number. Bills, they did the same thing last year, just in a different way. Last year, the Bills linebackers were hurt. They went right over the middle with Kelsey. This year, Benford was out after 12 plays, and they didn't have Tyler Rapp. They went right down that seam. And that's what good teams do. And Bills got to figure something out. But I think that I texted this to you guys after the game. I really do feel I have optimism for this because of a couple things. Because before the season started, I didn't even have them winning the division. I didn't have them making the playoffs. And they got that far, I think, on a team that is not as strong as previous Bills teams. I think it's impressive, especially how young this team is. They got rid of everybody over 30 other than Von Miller. So I'm happy about that. They don't have any real free agents that are any of Rasul Douglas, but I think you can do better. That's it. So that's not a lot that you have to really deal with. They have a lot of cap space. They have 9 draft picks. The issue is going to be for the Bills. Sean McDermott now has to get to the Super Bowl next year. I think he has to. You can, because last season, division round loss. This season, AFC Championship loss. You did progress. There's no reason you should move on from a guy who's done 6. He's won 5 AFC East championships, 6 double-digit season wins, right? Unless he regresses. So there is going to be an insane amount of pressure on this team. I think, though, that might work out because this is the year, if they want to go out and make a splash to push them over the edge, this is the year to do it. You have the cap space. You have the draft picks.
Mm-hmm.
Go out and they're not going to get a Myles Garrett, but like there's some free agents out there, defense like pass rushers that you can get. You can get a Khalil Mack, bring him home. You can bring a lot of these guys here to get some pressure on there. You can go out and get an elite safety. You can go out and get an elite corner. So we'll see what they do. But
And they're gonna have the pressure of a new stadium too.
yeah, and so the joke I always made was I read the script, the NFL script. They weren't going to win this year. They're going to win next year. So that way the NFL has that hard on they've always wanted to, where they open the season in a new stadium, which is what they've always wanted for years and years and years and never gotten. So It sucks. Chiefs, they have devil magic. What
They
can I
do.
say? They got devil magic, but the Chiefs did play well, and the Bills had a chance at the end.
They had plenty of time, and they could have done it.
Not enough playmaking. And I think that this is the time where that Bills, those young receivers, I think it showed. These guys, I just don't think they're ready. And maybe they will be. I still think they should go out and see what you can get as because I don't think Amari Cooper, that whole thing kind of blew up in the Bills' face. He never really panned out the way they hoped he was going to pan out with his team. And maybe some of that is he didn't have an offseason with Josh Allen. Josh Allen's very unique. I don't know. We'll see.
He's also old.
Yeah.
Amari Cooper's 10 years in now.
Yep.
He's been injured.
Yep. It sucks, but Chiefs are going. And I like to point out someone predicted the Super Bowl. So.
You did. You are not going to have to watch. Surprise to you. You do not have to watch the Aaron Rodgers documentary.
Only positive thing that's happened in the last 48 hours is me not having to. Yeah.
You do not have to watch the Aaron Rodgers documentary. I didn't keep score yet. I don't even know who has to. Might be me. Or maybe Mike. It's one of us, I think.
I ain't doing it.
Congratulations, Ryan.
You know what? It's become very fashionable to issue general pardons. Ryan, you have the authority to issue us a general pardon here.
I should pardon us?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, man. I don't know. That's setting a weird precedent.
That hasn't stopped anybody before.
That horse is out of the barn, sir.
I'm going to pardon people that don't even need it. Rachel, you don't have to watch it. You're not even a part of this show, but just in case.
She's the one who already did.
Yeah, you're right. She already did. Yeah. All right. What do you want to do? Refs or play calling first? I think there was some weird play calling with the Bills.
There was. Joe Brady abandoned the run real early, and that's what's gotten the Bills to this point. So
Yeah.
I thought that was very strange.
I also thought the perpetual attempt at 2-point conversions in a game you knew was going to be, a 3 to 5 point game was kind of nuts. They left points on the table.
Yeah, I'm not. That first one I was for, where they took the point. They got the extra. Like that, it mathematically made no sense to get that extra point. You're still down by 4, so
Yes.
you might as well try it. The other one, yeah, I agree with that one, but.
And I know there's always a fine line here in trust your system, do what got you here.
Mhm.
And listen, I am not equating the Chiefs and the Patriots, but the Chiefs have that sense that the Patriots used to have where it's like teams get real nervous
Mhm.
and feel like they have to do something different in order to win. But the Bills stop running the quarterback draw behind the left guard.
Yeah.
It's not working. It's not working. You tried it 4 times. It didn't work any of them. Stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was strange.
There's no trickeration there. They just did it again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know Josh Allen is 6'5" and he should get 1 yard. He should be able, but there's big bastards on the other side. They're not
They
small.
know it's coming. They
know it's coming, and there's no variation to the play.
Steve Spagnuolo doesn't get enough credit for the Chiefs' success because all of the attention is on Patrick Mahomes, and rightfully so. But Steve Spagnuolo's defense shows up in the playoffs for them every year when it looks like they won't, and then they do.
He is routinely making chicken salad out of chicken shit with those defenses.
I mean, right at that 4th down, he pulls out a corner blitz for the first time in the game.
Right. It was to me very annoying is at the end of the half where the Bills, I think it was the first Mac Hollins touchdown. The Bills started running the no huddle, and it worked incredibly well. They just tore through. They just marched down in less than a minute and 30 seconds and scored a touchdown.
Never did that again.
Never saw that again. And it was,
Were they outcoached?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah, that's fair.
Andy Reid and Sean McVay, I feel like, are the 2 coaches that are definitively above Sean McDermott. So, and
Mike Tomlin.
Tomlin's, I would put McDermott over Tomlin at this point. Tomlin has a Super Bowl. McDermott gets past the wild card every year. So
it's true. That's true. But what would happen if the Steelers had Josh Allen?
That's what I'm saying.
There you go.
Change coaches.
What would happen
Make
if
Sean
CJ
McDermott the coach of the
Stroud ended up
Steelers.
in Pittsburgh?
The Dalton Kincaid play at the end, the drop.
He's young.
Everyone's like, drop, terrible drop. It's not the Mark Andrews play. I mean, this guy was in the
No.
middle of 4 Chiefs, had to make a diving,
Yeah.
run off of his back foot to
Yeah.
try to make a diving catch. Like, it's totally
First-
different than
and like-
the 2-point conversion.
The way Josh Allen heaves that ball out there, the first thing he's got to do is perceive that the ball's even coming.
Right.
He
And
didn't
then
know it was
where is
coming. He had to
and then
turn
where
around.
is it going? And
Right.
then, and then
Dive
find it,
for it.
locate it, make a play on it. That's not easy.
That is
There's
not easy.
pressure on Kincaid though, because he did not have the season I think a lot of people were expecting
did
him to
not.
have.
No, he
With
was
the
not very
Bills
good.
receivers, being in a state of flux as they were for most of the season. So he does have now that's just added more like this entire. It's a shame because like I'm just mentioning it's this year there was no pressure on the Bills. Nobody expected them to do anything. Like I said, half of us didn't even have them winning the division.
Mhm.
A lot of sportscasters had Jets and Dolphins winning the division. A lot of people just had the Bills missing the playoffs or at best being the wild card. This is the exact opposite now. Like they need, and this is a 3-year window, I think, for Josh Allen and the Bills, right? 3 years where they now need to make sure he gets a Super Bowl within these next 3 years.
Is next year 2?
No, next year is year
They're
1.
starting the
because
clock.
Okay, that's what.
statistically the best season for like quarterbacks who hung around for a while, perennial Pro Bowlers, is actually 31. So their 31st year, it's because the physical talents are still there and they've basically seen everything. So next year will be 29, following year 30, following year 31,
Okay.
and then it starts to drop off. So
Are the Bills going to end up being one of those teams like the Peyton Manning Indianapolis Colts or like the 06 St. Louis Cardinals, where the year that everybody thinks they're not going to win it is the year they do win it?
probably.
Like, is
Well,
that how
that
this is
kinda
going to
felt
end
like
up?
It kind of felt like this year. Like I thought during this portion of this game, I'm like, they can do this.
Mhm.
I think that's
They
what's
were.
most frustrating. It's like they can pull this off.
Yeah. They really need home field. And I say it every year and they never get it, but they really need
Because they
Like
always
10
have
games.
1 or 2 boneheaded losses during the season,
right.
like where McDermott like gets his head up his ass and just makes some stupid decisions for a game,
Yep.
or like Josh Allen like has a bad game, like, and it's cost them.
The Bills have a true home field advantage in a league that is getting less and less of that. So
Yes.
to force the playoffs going through Buffalo, that's a huge thing. And they
Well,
really need
especially because Kansas City is one of the few other places
Right.
that
Oh,
still has
absolutely.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
And they've had to go through Kansas City every time. They can beat them there during the regular season. They've done it,
Yep.
but they can't do it in the playoffs yet.
I am interested and excited for the offseason. I really am, because I want to see how they're going to approach a lot of this. I was telling Drew on the way out, I still think a big fat defensive tackle needs to be the draft pick. And it's
Yeah.
boring and nobody wants it. And it's a need. So I don't know.
They need to get bigger. They need more
100%.
depth.
Right. Yep. They need
These
a lot
injury-
of quarterback depth too. So
These injuries happen every year to these
Yep.
secondary people, and it kills them every year.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Keon Coleman, like just the 2 rookies
Yep.
in this game. Like Keon Coleman is not really doing much, and Worthy's making crazy plays,
Mhm.
and it's like, what went wrong there? Not saying Keon Coleman can't.
Well, also
Eventually-
Coleman was out for 6 weeks,
Right.
with an
He
injury,
was-
so it's not like he's
He was out, and he's
much-
got talent. He's just not quite on. He's
Yeah.
not quite primetime player yet.
I think he'll get there though. I feel Keon. I feel pretty good about. I feel less good about Dalton Kincaid, but I feel
Yeah,
Keon just needs a little. He's also 21. Like even
He's
for a
super
rookie, he's
young,
young. Yeah, I mean,
he's super
so
young.
yeah.
I can see. You can see it. You can see there's things
Yeah.
there, but
and like I said, they got to the AFC Championship game with a roster
Right.
incredibly young.
yeah,
So I feel good. I just it hurt. It stings. It's just always the fucking Chiefs. So and the refs. That was a conversion, by the way. That was
the
not. I'm
fourth
saying
and-
it might not even have changed the outcome of the game. It likely
The
would.
fourth and one?
Like, yeah, that was.
what about the
fucking
Worthy
yeah.
catch? That was weird too. You think that was a catch
No,
or an
hit the fucking
interception?
ground. Like, I mean, you can tell me what rule it is, but I saw it with my own eyes. The ball hit the ground.
Hmm. Oh boy.
That one offends me less in the fourth down than that one. I don't know how you don't say that's a first down. I just don't get it.
And they reviewed it and still didn't give it to him. So
Well, one of them did.
Yeah, one of them
ref
did. That's
yeah.
the problem.
All right.
Because
yeah.
the problem with the Worthy catch is that the replay is so confusing that it was never going to be overturned regardless of what the call on the field was.
They couldn't
If they had
change
called
it.
it incomplete, it would have stayed incomplete. They called it complete. If they had ruled it an interception, it would have stayed an interception. There was never going to be overturned based on the video evidence. But the fact that one of the refs was like first down and the other one was like nah, like that's the problem with that one.
You got to wonder if they're gonna, not for next season, but like, isn't there a way to we're at fucking 2025? Isn't there a way to put something in the ball
Yeah.
to send it across the line? Like, I mean, there's got to be some sort of tech we can work with.
The UFL allegedly has a system that does that.
Really?
I think it's met with middling success. It's similar to what they use. It's similar to actually what they use for tennis.
I was
For
gonna say,
the,
yeah,
for the
tennis.
robo
Right.
for the
That's
robo
the
calls
sport
in
that-
tennis, whether it's in or out. But I don't know that the UFL system was so flawless that it would grant immediate adoption in other places.
Yeah, no, I don't think this is anything that's going to happen immediately. But I just think with the NFL's money, like they can figure this out and perfect it better than the UFL can.
You would
But,
think.
Yeah, and I know it's just like that's the talk of the day. If something happens in the Super Bowl that's dumber, then that'll be like the rule change that everybody pushes for. But
Yeah.
Like never being called for offensive holding ever.
The thing though about the Bills in this game is that you know what you're up against. You're up against the Devil Magic. You have to play better than the refs. You have to
It's
You
Not
have to
put-
go and beat
have to
Satan
not-
in a fiddle contest.
you have to not
You
put
need to
yourself,
beat Satan in a fiddle
you can't
contest.
put yourself in the position where the refs decide the game because you know that you're not going to get it.
It's the Marquez knockout. You cannot
It's
let it go to the
exactly-
cards.
yeah,
If
right.
you let it go to the cards, you will lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, Drew's right.
I
All
am
right, the other-
planning for one more game. I'm going to go out to the Bills game one more time next year at the old stadium before they tear it down. So I feel
All right,
I don't know
one
who it's
more.
going to be against, but we'll do one more game out there.
Okay, here's my slightly off-topic Bills Mafia question.
Mm.
So next year is the last year of the old stadium, correct? That's grammatically weird, but that's I think correct.
Correct.
And I know everything in that stadium is going to go up for auction upon the closure of that stadium.
Mhm.
How much shit from that stadium is never going to make it to that auction?
Oh God, a lot. Anything that's not
Yeah.
bolted down is definitely
I
leaving
think
that
even
last
some
game.
shit that is bolted
I
down.
think-
I
yeah, I
think
was
that
gonna
last
say,
game,
bolted down-
chairs are going to start disappearing.
Bringing their
stuff,
fucking screw guns in.
There won't be a table in the place.
yeah.
Those trots have already been sold. I fucking love that story.
Boom.
The trots.
Local restaurants, they're
Awesome.
just to have them there, but it's fucking gross.
Weird.
I've seen literally everything happen in that trough. Like
Oh.
it is not just for urine.
Ah, earmuffs.
Yeah.
Don't go to Bills game.
No.
All
That's
right.
generally good advice.
Yeah, very good
So
advice.
the question then is, or sort of relating to this, does the Bills Mafia transfer to the new stadium where almost none of them will be able to afford to go inside?
It's going to be different. It's going to be a different clientele. It's
Because
for sure.
like other cities, okay, fine, you have a rich client base that you're going to pull from somewhere.
It's true.
We're in Buffalo, ladies and gentlemen. That clientele is very small.
It's going to be a lot of Canadians. A lot
yeah.
of Toronto and
Montreal.
Ew.
across the border. Yeah. People are going to afford it.
Does Buffalo get a Super Bowl out of this with the new stadium?
No.
Never.
Because
No,
the
absolutely
city of Buffalo doesn't have the infrastructure or
can't.
the
No,
hotel
yeah,
rooms
absolutely.
to accommodate a Super Bowl. It's,
I truly
Maybe they get
believe-
the Pro Bowl.
I truly believe though, if the NFL does desperately want to have a new stadium front and center when they open a season, so I think they're going to
Yeah.
be rooting. I think the script
But-
writers for next season might be a little bit different.
but in answer to your question, I think the NFL learned its lesson in Jacksonville that just because the city seems like a warm weather place to have a Super Bowl doesn't mean it's a good idea. Like
Yeah.
you got to have it's the infrastructure and the hotels, and Buffalo just isn't large enough to have either one of those. It's
Yeah.
why the NFL would love to have a Super Bowl in Green Bay, but they can't do it.
Mm.
At a certain
It's
point, is the
completely
NFL just be
unfeasible.
like, fuck it, it's in Vegas every year?
Yeah, right. Here's
Yeah, 'cause
a
God knows the Raiders aren't playing there.
Yeah, I mean it's easy to get to by air. You have the hotel
Oh,
infrastructure.
hotel infrastructure.
You have the sports gambling infrastructure, which they've leaned into hard. Like, why not have Vegas be like the permanent site of the Super Bowl?
Not a bad idea. I don't know. We'll see. Roger likes money, so whatever makes the most money is what's going to happen. All right, other game. Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl again. Three-peat. Chief Pete. We'll talk about predictions next week. We're saving our predictions and all that for next week. So we'll break it all down next week. But the other game was Eagles Commanders. Mark's Commanders also go down. What a bad weekend for you, Mark.
I believe you mean Drew's Commanders. I don't think I ever was on this team.
He's off. He's off the
Garbage
Commanders.
team. This loser team.
Oh, the bloom fell off the rose finally. Jaden Daniels.
I'm impressed that this is a good run by that team. Like the Commanders,
It is. It is.
Plus, they get the added bonus of just rubbing in Dan Snyder's face.
He was
like,
mad.
"Fuck you, we're good at like. It's obviously that he was the problem
Oh yeah.
because
He
the
was
first
angry.
thing he's not owning the team. They're in the NFC Championship game.
Supposedly he was
to me,
furious.
This to me though was the game was this particular game, this particular moment was a little big for Jaden Daniels. He did try, and he did try really well, but like this team is so young, they just were not ready for I think this stage. So
The very first touch from Saquon Barkley was basically the nail in the coffin. Like, they're done.
yeah,
as
and then
soon
they
as
got the ball, and then they fumbled. They were just full
Yeah.
of jam the entire night, and it's just
Yeah, they
Just bad
fumbled
juju from the beginning.
Yeah.
several times, several fumbles.
Yeah, I think the
55
Commanders
points.
will be very good next year in a division that the Cowboys aren't going to be good and the Giants aren't going to be good. I think them and the Eagles again. So,
Yeah.
yep.
They certainly could get some new pieces in there. I mean, that couple more receivers, maybe. I mean,
Yep.
Zacchaeus is their number 2. I mean, they could use a couple
So,
more pieces.
I'll give you a name. How about Stephon Diggs from Maryland? Like,
Right.
I mean, close enough to Washington. I think that's a good spot for him.
How about
Yeah.
Antoine Randall L?
He's coaching. He's a coach now. Yeah. Oh boy. The Eagles ran all over them.
They were running it up a little bit at the end. So
Oh
they were
my God, they ran it up like crazy.
at the same point, like, you know, you got to stop them. But
Nick Sirianni,
Look,
man. Somehow
Saquon's having a great year, and man, the Maras are just got to be kicking
oh
themselves.
my god,
Oh,
Yeah,
I
oh.
still don't know how that. How are they still there? How is this coach and GM still there?
He can't go back on his word now.
I
He
know.
said they're back.
True.
What's he supposed to do?
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's ugly. It's ugly.
I could see.
We're heading into Terrell Davis territory right now with Barkley.
Here's the logic with the Giants, I think, or at least this is my thought process. What the logic might be. Dayball's never had his own quarterback. He was stuck with Daniel Jones's corpse, and generally, you don't fire the GM and keep the coach. So that probably saved the GM for a year. And they're thinking, let's see what Dayball does with a quarterback he comes up with. And if there's some progress, okay, fine. And if not, then we'll can everybody after next year and go after Bill Belichick or something once he's free from North Carolina.
March for Arch. March for Arch.
And they want that.
Oh,
They want that bad.
because they're just low enough where I think they're going to miss out on a quarterback in the draft.
No, they should be able to get one.
They
We're
should
going to
be
get
able
one,
to
but
get
we're
one.
not going to get the one.
It's
Well, with the
they're gonna
new
get-
Titans not taking quarterback talk, they might get one.
they're going to Shadir themselves. You just Shadir'd yourself into a shoot, brother.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Excuse me. Like, oh my God, I Shadir'd myself.
Can you do the Jim Cornette voice for us?
Shadir Sanders, motherfucker, bucktooth motherfucker.
Bruce Pritchard doing an impression of Jim Cornette. All right. Yeah, I don't know. Can the Eagles keep this running game going? I don't think Jalen Hurts looks that great, though. Honestly, he doesn't look
And
that good.
That's what I said to Mark yesterday. As
The
we were talking about the Super
weak
Bowl. Like the Chiefs are going to win. The Chiefs are going to win because One, I don't think Sirianni is smarter than the Chiefs coaching staff. And
He is
two,
not.
I don't trust Jalen Hurts in this
I know.
situation.
I don't
Not at
trust
all.
Sirianni.
He
No.
got pulled for freshman Tua in the national championship game.
Yeah.
Like, and I understand he had some comeuppance later where he came back and won some big games for Oklahoma, but like, I don't trust Jalen Hurts here. I don't.
Is Jalen Hurts going to be doing a Donovan McNabb throwing up on the sideline?
Probably. It feels a lot the same.
Oh, did you see that stat they said where Jalen Hurts is the first losing Super Bowl quarterback to make it back to the Super Bowl since Jim Kelly?
Jim Kelly.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I had to look that up to make sure that was right.
Wow.
But that was like not make it back and win. Like
Just
just
make
make
it back.
it back
at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Stan Humphries. Oh,
Oh, I know. But how come Sexy Rexy didn't make it back?
Well, Brady lost and made it back, right?
He had already won at that
He'd
point.
won one.
He had already won one.
That was the whole
He'd
point.
already won at
Yeah,
that point.
Right. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I don't feel good about Jalen Hurts in this game. Maybe 2
No,
weeks
I don't
will make him healthier. I don't know.
Nope.
He ran better in this game, but he just doesn't look good throwing it.
Sirianni's going to be let loose in New Orleans for a week, and you think this is going to work?
The only thing is this: if they can't stop Saquon, if they run him 35 times, like that's the only way they win this game.
Spoiler: they won't.
No, they won't.
All right. Well, we'll break it down next week. It's a quicker episode tonight. Because
hey, I forgot. What I wanted to happen happened.
What's that?
The Niners rehired Robert Saleh as their
Oh,
defensive
yes.
coordinator. We're getting the band back together, baby.
Good move.
Salah's back.
Ooh.
So the 49ers will play the Chiefs next year in the Super Bowl again.
Yay.
Poor Pete.
Obviously, my heart can take that.
With $55 million man Brock Purdy.
Yes. The bill comes due, Mike. The bill is coming due.
We want Niners Houston to finally answer the question.
Oh, that would be outstanding. Let's do that. Can we?
I would
please-
take that.
Can we
That would be
petition
fun.
the NFL to do that, please?
Oh, I would take that in a heartbeat.
Unfortunately, I don't think Houston's up for the
There's no
challenge.
way in hell we're going to lose to Houston.
Oh God! All right, broadcasting moments. There's only a couple here. This is a nice story. We've been sad.
Wait a minute, guys, real quick. I just want to say this: the Niners do play the Texans this year. So that'd be fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, that'll be good.
There you have it.
This is a fun story. Joe Gibbs, Hall of Fame Washington coach, responsible for helping Dan Snyder realize he needed to sell the team. So not only did Joe Gibbs win a Super Bowl, he also helped get rid of Dan Snyder. So
Is there anything Joe Gibbs can't do for Washington?
he can
He also
even,
managed a championship racing team.
yeah, right, be a
That's right.
NASCAR guy.
Gibbs Racers, yeah, right.
That's funny. Matt Collins, one more time. He comes into the stadium dressed as Animal from the Muppets.
It doesn't work when it's the opposing stadium. Just do it at home. Don't do it fucking on the road.
Here he comes in. What was this?
That was
What
his
was
chance
this?
to wear a Kermit the Frog head, and he
Yeah,
didn't.
he didn't do it.
I know, right? Come on. That's a
He
layup.
went Kermit adjacent.
Big bird
Yeah,
come.
that was great.
More heart warming stuff. The Commanders and Eagles fans, they don't really like each other, but they could agree on one thing. They went out of the stadium and they started chanting "Dallas sucks" after the game. Dallas sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here he comes. Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry. Wolf Blitzer was back.
No. Oh, hold on. Okay.
Look at Wolf Blitzer. Look at this guy.
Here's his VCR again.
What's VCR? All right, here's
You know
Pete
what
Carroll.
Pete Carroll is? Pete Carroll in this clip is Robert De Niro in a movie when he's like an intern in something.
Yes.
That's what Pete Carroll is doing right now. He's like, I can't believe I'm here.
Look at him. He's freaking limping, just walking
saw
into the
that,
Can't
facility.
believe- Look at this walk inside the building.
Oh,
He's got like a hitch in his step.
I feel bad now. Holy shit. Like, is he okay? Wait, no, it's Pete Carroll. Fuck you, Pete Carroll. You ruined like 90 kids' lives.
Look at that
I'm
walk.
okay, he says.
Oh boy. Duval. 0-17. Here's another Duval. If you missed it. And then real quick, Tony Dungy is going to run for Michigan Senate, apparently.
Done. Dun, 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 dun.
a forward by
Done. Done.
stuff.
Let's just hope that his forward to butt stuff doesn't become a divisive campaign.
Yeah. Let's hope.
Yeah, he likes ass sex.
Okay, enough.
All right.
I got a student of the week update.
Oh, Gum Guy.
Gum guy.
Oh,
It involves Gum guy.
Gum guy.
So, as some of you may or may not know, in my pays the bills job, I am in fact a high school social studies teacher. And I was recently lecturing on the end of the First World War and the Treaty of Versailles. And as I'm going through all of this, Gum guy is sitting in the back of the room.
Popping zits?
Oh, yeah. And he's going after a big one. And I'm like, I stop and I kind of look at him.
God.
He's like, just keep teaching. This is interesting. Just keep teaching. Like, do you need to use the bathroom or anything? Nah, I'm good. Just keep teaching. And like, proceeds to then continue to pick at his own face.
Oh my God.
Get some
Gum Guy.
tissues. Come on back. Finish the job. Wait 5 minutes and go back in for a second round.
Oh,
Gum Guy.
Come
What
on.
are you doing? Get some Clearasil.
We had a positive update last time on Gum Guy.
Yeah,
Now I feel like
get some
we've done
Gum
He
guy's
did
still
what?
doing great work,
Yeah.
but Gum guy needs to understand there's a time and a place for
You
certain
need to
things.
get the
Right.
Stridex pads.
You need to approach him, turn the chair around, and then sit like, opposite on the chair. Be like, let's rap, okay? About hygiene.
Yeah. And then he can go home and use his JVC Kamoon box.
Yeah, right.
Wow. Gum guy back in the.
He's also got bod body spray.
Of course he does.
Ah,
He's that age.
You mean
Nah,
the-
Gum
you
guy's a
mean
good
the
dude.
actual-
Gum guy's an all right dude.
Gum guy's all right.
He's all right.
Kids
Little
are
gross.
all right.
The kids are okay.
The kids are all right. Speaking of kids, how are these college kids in the Stripe Spiral? We got any Stripe Spiral news, or is there
Quiet.
nothing?
Quiet this week. Nothing to talk
Wow,
about.
nothing.
Everybody's on their illegal recruiting visits.
Nothing. Okay. Well, all right. It is time. It is time.
You're traveling through another dimension. A dimension not of intelligence and morality, but of stupidity and hubris. A journey into a hellscape whose boundaries are the limits of human depravity. That's a fallen goalpost up ahead. Your next stop, Football Fubar.
It's time for football four.
The production values of this show have gone through the roof.
I'll take that.
Some of us have a video intro. Can you?
Oh,
Bullshit.
the only segment with a video intro now.
I am a holdout until I get a new deal.
How stupid would this show be if every one of the segments had a video intro? Mike's gone. He left. But he did put up that sweet picture of us.
That's right. Oh,
Football Foobar has its own entrance video now. Thank
Love
you,
it.
Chris.
amazing. Thank you. That is fantastic. All right. So now that we know who's in this year's Super Bowl, we have that awkward week, right, where they try to squeeze in the Pro Bowl, the championships, the
Eugene
awards,
Robinson tries to squeeze into some hooker.
Yep. All the Hall of Fame stuff. So this is also typically the week that head coaching interviews happen. But as we talked about, there's only one head coaching job open, and it's the Saints, right? Nobody wants it. So let's talk about, though, what we started to talk about earlier, a recent head coaching position that got filled. Today, we'll be inducting everyone involved in the 2025 Jaguars head coaching search. into
Oh,
the
boy.
Balls. So get your Duvals out of the way.
Patricia's here? What?
Yeah. He's gonna
I
do
don't even want the Saints job.
Oh, okay. No one asked you, but okay.
So let's start at the beginning. So the Jaguars, after rightfully shit-canning Doug Peterson, cast a wide net for their new head coach. They interviewed the likes of Joe Brady, Kellen Moore, Brian Flores, Aaron Glenn, Ben Johnson, Robert Saleh. Sorry, Matt, they didn't interview you. Sorry about that.
Oh, sorry, Matt.
Yeah, sorry.
I refuse the interview.
Oh, nice. You
Oh,
publicly did.
sure.
Just like Joe Brady and Cliff Kingsbury and everybody else on the Saints. But anyway, word got out pretty quickly, though, that after they interviewed those guys, the guy they really wanted was Liam Cohen, who is the offensive coordinator for the Bucs. Now, one might question this decision, considering Cohen gets a lot of credit for the Baker Mayfield's resurgence, until you find out he wasn't even with Baker Mayfield last year. He wasn't on the team at all. He wasn't a quarterback coach. What he was doing was he was the offensive coordinator. He was the offensive coordinator for that NCAA football powerhouse, Kentucky. So somehow, though, this got the
Wildcats.
this got the attention of Jaguars owner Shad Khan. No doubt taking a break from watching his son Tony just sign more WWE retreads to fill out AEW. The Jaguars brought Cohen in for an interview and became further enamored with him and offered him the job on the spot. Cohen, to his credit, though, looked around and saw all the dysfunction and told them that he couldn't work with GM Trent Baalke, who is a noted criminal and general asshat. Cohen left the building, and then the Bucs reached out to him he left the building, left the Jags. The Bucs then reached out to him with an offer reportedly between $4 and $5 million to stay as their offensive coordinator, which would have made him the highest paid NFL coordinator ever, right? Cohen verbally agreed to this deal, got on a plane, head back to Tampa Bay to sign this contract, and began texting Bucs players. He texted Baker Mayfield. He texted the offensive line that he was staying, that we're going to run it back, right? That's when Shad Khan panicked. Not wanting to look even further like a doofus than he already was, he fired Baalke within hours of Cohen leaving, then called Cohen back and told him, I'm upping my contract to you, and you get to pick your GM, because that has always worked in the NFL. That is so
This guy
stupid.
who knows nothing, who's
Right.
worked there for 1 year.
Yes, is now going to be able to be the guy who gets to pick the GM. Cohen went radio silent for a day, didn't communicate with the Bucs or the Jaguars.
Love that the Bucs couldn't find him.
Yes, yep, didn't say anything, and then obviously didn't show up to sign that contract. He finally texted the Bucs the following day and said he was on his way to Jacksonville because he wanted to rethink some things. When he landed, signed the contract, he is now the new Jaguars head coach. And what's funny is this is the second time he's pulled this shit, because last year when Kentucky, he was told Kentucky that he was signing a new contract and then went to Tampa to sign that offensive coordinator position, contract. So I guess turnabout is fair play.
It's his new signature move.
Yeah,
Literally and
Jags have-
figuratively.
Jags have their next shady, weird-ass, strange head coach that nobody wanted except them, and the Bucs are looking for somebody to replace him. But chin up, Jags fans and Bucs fans. It's not all bad. Just think, you could have hired a Schottenheimer.
No, Dallas. Schottenheimer's a 50-year-old first-time coach
Who's also been everywhere.
and not done well as an offensive coordinator, I'm pretty sure. Oh boy, this is my new favorite thing. The Jaguars coach is going to be the content king for 2025.
So weird.
He's going to be the content king. It's happening. He's a
weirdo. He's a regular Bobby Petrino, possibly without the motorcycle stuff
Yeah.
or the neck brace, but you know what I mean.
Not the criminal stuff, but
Come here, girl.
Is that the afterword of that book? Motorcycle stuff?
Yeah. You
by
got
Petrino. You can always go home.
Marty Morenweg.
Marty morning. Oh, Fubar. All right. Well, Fubar's got a nice new intro, so
I know. It's impressive.
very fancy.
We're going to have it for like 2 episodes and then not till the draft. So.
I know. It's too late in the year, but it'll be all next
love
year.
it.
We'll have it
I love it.
every show next
Yep.
year. Sad Boy Boat. Jerry
Mark.
Jones.
Me. Yeah, me.
Mark.
Yeah,
The problem
Mark.
with Jerry Jones is Jerry Jones doesn't think he's on the sad boy boat.
right.
Yeah.
The Saints
Like
ownership.
you can't do
Saints.
a forced conscription to the sad boy boat.
Yeah.
True.
Drew.
He did cry. He literally cried at the press conference.
Yeah,
though,
me and
so-
Drew can be on. Although Drew,
I
feel
think
like
Drew and
Drew-
Mark are on the sad boy boat this week.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know. Drew, I feel like doesn't feel anything anymore. So,
I'm numb to football now. It can't hurt me with its
Goodbye,
lies.
Can't hurt you if you don't let it. All right. That's like 6 people. So, all right, that's whatever. That's good enough. Game balls.
Saquon.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Saquon.
You know, good.
That-
Here's my game ball. Game ball to Greg Olson because an entire season of being forced to watch Tom Brady and Tony Romo has made us all realize how good Greg Olson really is, and we miss him.
Yeah, he's good.
We miss
He's
you, Greg.
He is good. Mark, game ball for you?
The best play I saw all weekend was the ref stopping that 4th and 1. So I'll give it
refs?
referee.
Sorry, I have an actual one. That's not take one. I'm giving my game ball to Marshawn Lynch, who randomly was at Pete Carroll's press conference, and in the middle of Pete Carroll's speech, he just yelled out "Raiders" and interrupted him from the audience.
You know what? There's a quick way the Raiders can redeem all this, which would be offensive coordinator Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah.
In which case, I'm back on board.
And he's just got a bucket of Skittles with him.
Yeah,
100%.
And
No play sheet.
inner tube and a goblet of Crown Royal.
Yeah. A Gatorade bath of Crown Royal when he wins.
Beef Mo.
All right. Plug time on this quick episode. Bloody good music. We got any plugs?
Last week I promised a Lacuna Coil review, which is done, and I went to post it, and then I realized that there's actually an review embargo until February 1st, so that's still pending. I'm
That's
also
only
working on
few days away.
reviews of the new Spiders album and the new Tane album. So there's a lot in the pipe.
And you're working on a blog post about 2001 songs that we fucked up when we did that.
Yeah,
We did that
There's
segment
only
without you.
one. There's only one notable one you omit.
We did not let the
missed
bodies
out
hit the floor. We did not. We did not. Speaking of 2001 songs, I was walking into work today, and this is a very thing in our hometown, Troy. There's a kid walking with a weird mask on his face with like the red X's. I don't know if it's a Squid Game mask or what it is. Listening to Papa Roach at the that's whatever that song was.
By the way, after you had the 2001 conversation, I went back and I was like, there's all these songs that I know came out right around that time. And I had to go back and look them up. And like everyone you can think of, they all came out in 2000, not 2001. But
Just
like
a
Papa
year
Roach
before.
is on that list. Like Evanescence is on that list. Like Stained has some on that list. Limp Bizkit has a bunch on that list. Like 2000 was a huge year for like weirdo jock tunes.
Yeah. Well, they're still out there. Papa Roach is being bumped out in the streets of Troy at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Cut my
some
life
reason.
into pieces.
Yeah.
That's the song. That was the
Of
song.
course
What other
Ryan, you didn't have to tell
Boy
us. that
is
was
my
the
last resort. Suffocation.
That's
No
TJ
jobs
McCarthy?
now.
They don't talk about one-hit wonders in the metal community so much, but come on.
Yeah.
All right. Mike, you had student of the week, or do you have a new student of the week?
No, the gum
was it.
guy
Gum
student of
guys.
the week.
Come, guys, student of the week.
It's not, again, this is not the best student of the week always necessarily.
No,
It's the most
sometimes it's
impactful
good,
student of the week.
sometimes it's bad. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. All right.
It's like facts of life.
A great
You
show.
take the good, you take the bad.
TGIF podcast recording tomorrow.
Fuck
Which
you,
means that-
Ryan.
We'll get it out
You
shortly.
can ruin my night by making me watch these episodes.
First, you had to watch the Commanders list. Then you had to watch the Bills list. Now you had to watch Full House.
I have to watch Michelle on Full House.
Score in the wrong goal because the
Babies
episode is
with
coaches.
guitars.
Babies with guitars.
God.
It's a highlight. It's always the last one we do, so we can get real angry, and then we just go off on a tangent.
And the
there.
best part is, like, Killer Greg is exceptionally ornery lately, so this should be real good.
Yeah, he's gonna be fired up about this.
Yes, I'm sure he
It'll
will.
be out by the end of the week, hopefully. I got a lot
I don't
going
wanna be
on.
the one
So.
to bring. I don't want to be the one to bring this up, but we're nearly at the end of the show, and we haven't staved off the curse of X-Pac yet.
You mean Essex or Xbox?
No.
No.
There we go.
You think you can tell us what to do? Yeah. You think you can tell us what
There's
to
nothing
wear?
better to play us out
You better,
with the Super Bowl.
well, you better get ready.
Push the
to
boat
bow
back
to the
up the river
master.
Styx for another week.
We've got the X-Pac of Super Bowls, so let's just end with X-Pac.
That's right. It's got X-Pac heat. Just turn it off.
That's good. Yeah, this Super Bowl has X-Pac heat. All right, we're done. We're out of here. Peace out. See you next week.
Bye.